Today we are fortunate to have with us a special guest in our studio. His name is Dr. Daniel J. Cuneo. He is licensed in both Illinois and Missouri. He was with the Illinois Department of Human Services for 24 years and served as a Director of Clinical Services as Chester Mental Health Center, the Illinois Maximum Security for Forensic Facility. He has testified over 2,500 times in court as an expert witness in fitness, sanity, custody, and civil commitment hearings, and serves on regional and statewide committees concerning forensic issues. He has given over 250 conferences throughout the United States and has published 9 articles and 3 books in the field of law and mental health. He co-authored with Ms. Brenda Owen The Fitness Game, an educational tool designed to teach concepts necessary for an individual to become fit to stand trial. The Fitness Game is presently used in 15 states and the federal system. Dr. Cuneo serves as a psychological consultant to the St. Clair County Jail inpatient and outpatient alcohol treatment centers and community mental health centers. He is often called to do child custody evaluations and sexual abuse assessments. He has been featured on local TV shows and in Time magazine on mental health issues related to death penalty and civil commitment. Dr. Cuneo has a special interest in children's issues and rights, especially as it relates to mental health and law. He presently serves on St. Louis County Special School District Board, the St. Clair County CASA Board, and St. Clair County Child Advocacy Board, and is chairman of the Illinois Child Death Review Teams. In 1988, he was the creator of Children First. The Children First program provides divorcing parents the opportunity to learn about and discuss the effect that divorce and changing family situation has on children. The program is now utilized in 12 states and the province of Quebec. Finally, Dr. Cuneo and Ms. Brenda Owen are the creators of Kids in Court, a game designed to teach children about court and to alleviate anxieties about testifying. Dr. Cuneo was appointed on February 6, 2003 to the Governor's Department of Children and Family Task Force to revise child welfare services in the state of Illinois. Now, so we finally got through your impressive resume here. Just kind of want to go through certain things that you have done, if you don't mind talking to our audience here. We have a lot of people who sometimes will call in, or on our website, dadsdivorce.com, we have what we call an Ask a Lawyer. So a lot of times people send questions that we'll answer on the show, which will be a follow-up. And maybe someday we'd be able to have you come on as a live guest, or have you come on and help answer some of the questions. What exactly is the Fitness Game, and how did that come about?
Fitness Game started out because when I was at Chester, which is Illinois Max Secure Hospital, we had to get individuals ready to go back to court. And what we did at that time was try to figure out a way to make it work. And what had happened is we had individuals that would be in the hospital a year, 2 years, 3 years. We thought maybe we could do something that would make it work. So what I did was myself and Brenda Owen put together a program at that time. Brenda was working down with me in the Department of Mental Health. And what we ended up doing was behaviorally defining Wyatt versus Settle, which is one of the federal rulings on fitness, and made it into a game farm. And then all of a sudden, we found out that not only did it work, but it cut the length of stay down by 60%, which was a massive savings. But not only was it a savings in money, it was a savings in making sure people got better and got to court. What happened was, because it seemed odd, it seemed different, other people liked it, I ended up speaking to the National Forensic Conference, and all of a sudden a variety of other states began utilizing it. So that's how it kind of got started.
You created a couple other games. You did, I think you were with Brenda Owen and created Kids in Court?
Yeah, Kids in Court started in 1993. What had happened was the Illinois Bar Association wanted to know how to get kids to testify. One of the most traumatic periods is when a kid gets up in front of a court. If you can imagine, all of a sudden, you have a kid, 6 years old, stands up on a stand, scared to death. And while she's up there, or he's up there, they don't know what's going on. They don't know the words, they don't know the terms. What this does is familiarize it. And also what had happened was we took some of the concepts on what it takes to testify. In other words, what it takes to be competent to be a witness, and utilized those. That program has been utilized in a variety of different states, including Illinois. First of all, to prepare children to go to court. so as not to traumatize them anymore, but also to find out whether they're competent to testify. And that's really important when you get into sexual abuse cases.
Is there a certain age when children are deemed competent to testify in the court?
Not automatically. What happens is you have to be able to understand the difference between a truth and a lie. You have to understand basically what it. You have to be able to relate a story. In other words, relate events, and you have to have some memory. If that, you can be deemed competent to stand. You can be deemed competent to testify.
Now, this is usually done in open court?
That can be done in open court, but the game was set up as a way to prepare, to familiarize a child with what's going to happen beforehand. And the program's been successful.
So how does one access your program or attend your program?
Oh, I suppose someone could call me and I'd send them out a game if they wanted it. They could also contact, I guess the easiest way would be to contact me and I'd get them out of program.
What number should they contact you at?
Call the office, 618-277-5498.
And then then they get a copy of the game? Is this something that's self-explanatory, or do they need to see a lawyer or another psychologist?
Usually what I would do is what we've done is we've given it to CASAs, Court-Appointed Special Advocates programs. They've utilized it. We've given it to guardian ad litems, and they've used it. And they found it to be helpful. Because what it does is most people, most attorneys have a real good concept of the law, but not a real good concept always of the developmental aspects of children. Most mental health professionals have a good idea of what this is happening to a kid, some of the developmental stages, but they don't have a concept of the law. What this says is it blends the two, so it allows them to be able to utilize both aspects.
Now, what states have enacted this program?
I believe Kids in Court has been used in 6, 7 states so far.
And Illinois is one of them?
Illinois is one of them.
Do you know if Missouri is?
Missouri used it, let's see, 95, 96. The Department of Children and Family Services utilized it for a while. I don't know if they're using it now.
Is there a website or some way to find out what states utilize it? Only because we have a lot of our listeners who sometimes call in or just tune in. They want to know if that's enacted in their state or not.
Sorry, I can't help you there. If they give me a call, I could look it up for them.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, you would have a resource to go to let them know. And then you also came up with another game, I believe it's called Children First.
Children First isn't a game. Children First is a program.
It's a program.
Children First, 85. What had happened was, in 79, I got stuck doing custody evaluations. And stuck's probably the correct term. I find custody evaluations the most difficult of all the assessments to do, mainly because of all the bias, plus the fact the kid gets hurt. Or the kids many times are getting hurt as the two warring parents go back and forth. So we thought of if there would be a way. And then we also found out that there was, it seems like sometimes certain custodies never end. The parents keep warring, kids keep getting hurt, and it keeps going back and forth to court over and over and over again. So in 85, we got together, and at that time, the chief judge over in St. Clair County was Pat Fleming, Judge Fleming, and proposed with him, then talked to Don Didier over at the 708 board, St. Clair County Community Mental Health Board, saying, wouldn't it be neat if we could show people like 6 commercials, 6 vignettes of what's going on? And maybe with that, they could see it, see themselves in it, and maybe they could change their behavior. It took us 3 years. We got a grant from the Illinois State Bar Association, the Illinois State Bar Association, and we put together a program. And with it were the 6 vignettes. And we first started it just in St. Clair County, figuring, let's see what happens. And the program was extremely successful. And soon other counties in Illinois wanted it, and Missouri wanted it. And then we had other states utilize it.